Many business presentations which are just facts, data, and they see this all the time, and so they think, well, this must be how it's done. But the reality is that there's no rule that says it has to be all data. In fact, if it's only data, the speaker would have saved everybody a lot of time by just turning the slides into a PDF and emailing them, because people can't absorb and retain too many things at one time. They're going to need to go away, they're going to need to read more about it, think about it. But the point of a presentation isn't to flood people with as much information as possible. It's to get them to remember a few key points. And then they can go away and do further research and reading on their own.
I think this is very common. I remember one time when my boss was going to inform us about an organizational change. And I could see when he started his PowerPoint presentation that he had 80 slides. And after slide number 4, people just started reading what was on the PowerPoint slide and stopped listening to him because all the information was there.
Yeah, and I tell people, I say, look, if you put a slide that is full of text and information and 3 graphs or whatever, you force your audience to make a choice. Either I'm going to listen to you and not look at the slide, or what is more likely to happen, I'm going to look at the slide and then start reading. Then the speaker has a second problem, because people are going to be reading different things at different times. The methodical readers are going to start at the top and work their way down. The fast readers are already 2 bullet points ahead. The visual people are looking at the chart, and we're all over the place. It's interesting, you said he had 80 slides. I'm not opposed to having a lot of slides in a deck. In fact, one of the questions people will ask me, they say, I've got half an hour to speak or an hour to speak, how many slides should I use? I always say, my answer is always the same. I don't know. Maybe 10, maybe 50, maybe 17. The number of slides is less important than the fact that each slide should be well designed. So you could easily have 40 slides in a 20-minute presentation if the slides are well designed and they help move the presentation along. Unfortunately, what you usually get is the worst of both worlds. You get a lot of slides poorly designed, and so that's not great.
Yes, I became nervous because I knew that there was going to be a lot of information on each slide.
Yeah. I think a lot of times people will tell me, they say, yes, but I hand out the slides at the end so that people have a takeaway document. And I will ask them, I say, so everything I need to know is in the slides. And they say, yeah, it's all there. And I say, that's fantastic. Why do I need you then? And I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's a sincere question. If everything's in the slides, like I said, make it a PDF. People can read faster than you can speak. But if you use the slides as a clean support tool for a message that you want to share with me, then I'm in. Then I want to hear what you have to say. A good rule of thumb for slides that I tell clients is that most slides should be like the sign beside the autoroute or the highway. You're driving along at 120 kilometers an hour, and there's a sign coming up that says how long to the next gas station and where the next exit is, that kind of thing. When you're driving at 120, 130 kilometers an hour, how long do you have to look at the slide, at the sign? 3, maybe 4 seconds? You get the information, then you have to get back to the road, otherwise it's dangerous. And I think that's the way it should be with most slides. For most slides, I should be able to look up and in a couple seconds, get the idea, and then get back to the speaker. You can have a complex slide from time to time if you, number one, you bring in elements using a simple animation, bring in elements one at a time. And number 2, that you spend the adequate amount of time on that slide so that people can absorb what you're saying.
So what I hear you say, John, is help them focus on you. Because
exactly.
Otherwise their attention is going to compete between the slide and you as a speaker.
Exactly. The slide is ancillary. The slide is secondary. You as the speaker are the most important thing there.